Thank you, Johnny. Thank you very much.
I make the original models for all of the buildings. This took a long time. This took probably 6 weeks to make this particular building. Some of the smaller buildings normally take about a week. Some of them are based on historical buildings, like the big church here. It's kind of a composite of the small churches that are in Normandy and northern France. Some of them, like this, it's a variation on the Angkor Wat ruins out of Cambodia with some extra details on them. Some of them are just archetypes, rope bridges of death, things like that. It just depends. The less I have to explain what something is, the more successful the product it is. Our first products were released 6 years ago this September. I'm a commercial model maker by trade, architectural models and museum models, everything like that. I can build a credible model of essentially anything. And so I have built the models for every single Miniature Building Authority product but one or two pieces. Other than that, I've built all the models, whether it's science fiction models or this kind of stuff, or castles, things like that. Well, I make one model and then the factory casts them in resin. And depending on the anticipated demand for that product, we make 200, 300, 400 or something, which might be a 4 to 5 year supply, depending on the product. In the case of this High Adventure series with the old temple and such, it's going to be a one-time release. We have a website, just color pictures of everything on the website. That will be www.miniaturebuildingauthority.com.
Yep, I make and sell precast Hurst Arts blocks. So Bruce Hurst makes a line of rubber, silicone rubber molds that have all the different fantasy, sci-fi, cavern designs, and I build those blocks, sort of take the mess and the space required of casting those blocks out of the end user's hands. So basically, you buy a kit from me, you can build your tower with no mess, glue it together, paint it up, and you've got terrain. It's pretty much, it's system neutral. You can use it for D&D, you can use the sci-fi stuff for Star Wars miniatures. I do have some designs that emulate certain board games, for example, the Descent Cavern set or my 3D Robo Rally boards. So those do a nice job of emulating a 3D environment for your board games.
We're Dwarven Forge. We make the world's finest 3D terrain for miniatures. And we make it out of a polystone material. Stuff's as hard as a rock. Lasts a lifetime. Comes pre-painted, ready to go right out of the box. You can buy this stuff and 5 minutes later you can have a dungeon. It's made out of a poly resin material that's virtually indestructible. Really heavy duty stuff. The paint sticks to it great. And it's a family heirloom type thing. It'll be around 100 years from now. The big game like Dungeons and Dragons, everybody uses that for the combat, and you know, it's the one thing to talk about while you're in the tavern and there's a big bar fight, but when you can actually make one here and have your figures, you know, where you want to be, it brings it really to life. A lot more fun that way. It's usually around $100, a little less than $100. Some of them are higher, some of them are lower. But they come pre-painted, ready to go. So it's an investment, but it's something you can use for a lifetime. No, it's kind of in the shadow, but I can put my finger in there and open it.
Okay, let me focus. It looks like a bookcase.